Nice shirt, huh? My mom gave it to me. She always gave me nice things to wear, and I wasn't always appreciative. A lot of times I would complain, I don't want to wear these blue and white check pants or whatever it was. I want to wear my painter's pants. But this was one of my favorites, including my Zodiac cufflinks. Over the years, though only on a few occasions, I've tried to put into words the life I've shared with my mother. Admittedly, the motivation would sometimes occur after witnessing her overcome a serious health scare, those moments that remind you just how precious time together really is. A couple of years ago, I spent a quiet week alone with her and Dad here in Michigan. It wasn't the first time I felt compelled to do so. We all know, you never know, when the next time will be the last. At one point during that visit, a thought struck me. What if I finished this eulogy now and shared it with her while she was still here to hear it? Would that be strange, even morbid? I decided to take all my seemingly random reflections and form them into something more coherent. Then I asked her if it would be okay if I read it to her. Without hesitation, she replied, "I don't think that's weird at all. It would be a lovely thing for you to do." The following is an abridged version of what I read to her that day. Dad beside us, and grateful for the chance to say these things to her. My relationship with my mother was deep, complex, and filled with love. I hope this tribute offers a glimpse into the unique bond we shared. On her ancestry, my mother's paternal ancestors came to the United States through Smith Falls, Canada, through County Kerry, Ireland, at the end of the Great Famine in 1849. They eventually settled in South Dakota around 1873. She is a direct Mayflower descendant. Her paternal 10th great-grandparents made the weeks-long journey across the Atlantic in 1620. On her mother's side, the family came from Norway and arrived in South Dakota in 1880. They were the first Norwegian settlers in the territory and were founders of the Solberg Lutheran Church. DNA matching suggests her maternal grandfather was likely from Western Poland. He arrived in New York with his parents in 1895, and the family later settled in Chicago. So she was Irish, English, Norwegian, and Polish. Therefore, I'm 100% Irish. On childhood memories, my mother's love was unconditional. It came without restrictions or strings attached. I'd be remiss not to say how profoundly blessed I am to be her son. I've tried to find a way to express just how deeply she loved me, and I keep returning to the same memories. When I was little, she was always there when I got hurt, and I got hurt a lot. She took me to the hospital after I drank bleach, ate a Dieffenbachia leaf, cut myself on a picket fence, got hit with a swing, teased the cat, and paid the price, sliced my thumb on a bike fender, crashed into a parked car, and of course, when I crashed straight through the glass of the storm door as she was coming home from work. Sure, any parent would respond in those moments, but what I remember most is what came after. She never overreacted or tried to limit me. She didn't scold me or become overprotective. She cared for me, supported me, and continued to let me explore and take risks. On values, my mother taught me the values of honesty, integrity, and support. When I got in trouble as a boy, like the time I threw apples at buses, she didn't cover for me. She took me to the police station where I learned firsthand that actions have consequences. It wasn't the easy way for her, but it was the right way, and it shaped how I see responsibility. I was never afraid to tell her the truth after that. Later, when I struggled to find my path in school and in business, she never judged me. When I felt like I had failed and wasted their money, she did not lecture me or try to burden me with guilt. Instead, she listened, she guided, and gave me the strength and sometimes the practical help I needed to keep going. Through it all, she modeled resilience, compassion, and unconditional love. My mom had many wonderful qualities. She was tough. She was really tough. She never complained, never made excuses, and always told it like it was. She was smart, cerebral, intuitive, and strong. Never tell her she couldn't do something unless you really wanted her to prove you wrong. She was a wonderful cook. She had the voice of an angel. She tempered each of my fathers. And yes, all of my friends thought my mom was beautiful. Making her laugh was my favorite pastime. We didn't talk every day, but when we did, the conversations were long and meaningful. I did not have any brothers growing up, but I kind of had 3 mothers. Being the youngest and male had its advantages. However, I cannot express how influential it was to be raised by such independent, confident women. She encouraged me when I was reluctant, whether it was swim lessons, the boys' club, or just facing life head on. She taught us to be self-sufficient, to cook, clean, and do our own laundry. There was no boys do this, girls do that in our house. She had a wicked sense of humor, which all of you know. What you might not know, she did not like runny eggs. For 50 years, I didn't know this. When I was home from college, and while she was probably right, she told me I needed to get laid. When I was very young and probably acting like one, she called me a horse's ass. I didn't even know what it was. I was speechless. One time, she and I were at the Met in New York, and we wandered into an unopened exhibit. It was like, suits of armor or something. And then all of a sudden, we were escorted out by security through the basement and out onto the sidewalk. And then there was that time we were walking around New York, and she was wearing her favorite shaggy fur coat from France. Some guy thought I was her pimp and asked, how much? Through it all, she never stifled me or tried to push me in a particular direction. I always felt confident on my own because I knew she would always be there for me. In closing, I share the following missive I sent to her one Mother's Day in response to thoughtful, caring words she had previously shared with me. I have been so blessed to have such a caring, remarkable woman as my mother. We shared countless special times together, and I treasure them all. You gave me the freedom to take charge of my life and pursue my dreams. I see my father's traits in me: gentleness, humor, and integrity. And I see yours: sensitivity, creativity, and the ability to find the silly in the serious. I am not either of my fathers or my mother. I am uniquely their son. But I will carry forward the best of all of them and do my best to add something more. Mom, you've always been there for me, and you always will be. I love you, Falafu.